Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my fifth degree page or my light work and light work. Great. I'm fifth degree, but you could call me fifth. Okay, y'all. So it's a few different things that's kind of going on right now. Um, Out in the atmosphere. Everybody's kind of getting ready for or feeling the essence of this moon we got coming into place, right? Uh, that's part one. Part two, we do still have though. Everything feels so much different, y'all. Oh my goodness, it just feels so different in this particular atmosphere. But I'm hoping everybody's doing okay. I'm really hoping everybody's doing okay. For those who are doing shadow boxing, just pay attention, I guess, to whatever it is that comes out in regards to that. Um, Needless to say, but I'll say it anyway. Um, Pay attention to what's going on to with and for you. Okay, what's going on in your personal life with your personal situation. That's it. Also, I feel the need to reiterate that why is G Easy coming up to me? Coming up, that song, you don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. That song was coming out. Uh, don't say I can't go with other boys when it's a rap. Basically, is what that's about. The other portion of it is just to clear my head a little bit. I had a few different uh, dreams, visions, premonitions, downloads, so to speak. One of them was in regard to I was in like this mansion space. No, this place really looked like a mansion, and I'm thinking it's in correlation to another space. It's in correlation to another space where it was these two dreams. I guess they correlate, but the one that happened, it was like I want to say like eight people in this one little room, or it wasn't even a little room, it was a big room. It just looked little because there was so many people in it. Oh, okay. If someone would have watched, or this must be a manifestation of one of the old readings it was that I did, that's what it's given. Because the room looks like in the, I'm going to say, is it the Necromonicon deck? But everybody is just laid out, right? Everybody just laid out. Some people getting covered up, and it just looked like it was one of those nights where everybody would have been kicking and just passed the hell out. So it's one of those. Okay, uh, I paid that some attention, and then I walked out of that particular room. It's like I got up in that space. Then I walked from out of that particular space into the next room, right? And it was somebody sitting at a table, and she had on like a sweater and some blue jeans. And from there, there was what it wasn't really like a tour, but I kind of followed her around for a second, and then I broke off from her. And then within me breaking off from her, I started seeing through the floors. Some of it is given how there will be some people who have glass ceilings. Is kind of what I'm getting from that because I was looking through the floor and saw some people moving around, and it was like this person that was holding a coat, right? Yeah, it was a real old situation. Like the person, they looked like they had on knickerbockers, not not the pants, but like knickerbockers where you put the pants on and then you put the socks on over it. That's what it was giving. And then it was they had on a shirt. So it's that part. The other portion of it, uh, I started seeing the irony that was coming into place with it was it was given like cult community room. And when I say cult, I mean like this is a particular type of culture. So I'm not entirely sure what that's in regards to. But it was connecting to this other dream it was I had because they kind of like running into each other. So it's giving a storyline is what it's kind of is what it's portraying is that it's a storyline associated with it. In this storyline that would have been associated with it is a really really old building, y'all. It's a big building and it's an old building, and in that big building is uh it was a woman in a white nightgown. She gave the feel of like the grudge and the ring. So I'm thinking that has something to do with some different commitment issues and how when it comes to commitments, some of the grueling or gruesome aspects that would come into place with it. That woman was standing outside of the building, and then there is shifts to the perspective of whatever that spirit was seeing, and it was a man who was in like this cardinal, Cardinal, in the Catholic portion. Um, he was sitting at a desk. I know, you know what's funny? I know bishops wear these colors as well. So some of it I'm thinking is the blessing, when what happens when one blesses. Um, I want to say sex magic, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't like really taking it into that portion of like right off the bat. No, because this is gonna be it's gonna be different from a lot of different people in a lot of different spaces and places. The other portion of it is for whoever is watching, right? Can you please, please, please make sure you check your essence as far as what will be going on with your willpower, throat chakra, right? Those are going to be two things that are really really important for you to pay attention to, primarily because of with everything it is that's been going on uh, with the planet still being in retrograde, and depending on how energy or essence sensitive you are, it'll depict if you are out of the retrograde essence earlier or later. So pay that some attention to. Yeah, just because unfortunately, right? You got to know what means for you and how you know it'll manifest to within for you in regards to certain things. Okay, in short, this is gonna be a real big know thyself situation that will be going on. But back to the more up to date, with the back to the mansion portion. You know what it's giving? It's giving a back and forth, 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 back and forth. So it might be some past life shit that would have manifested in the current life shit that you really got to pay attention to. Is what that's giving. The other thing was I saw it was like a dude at a counter getting food. So what it is to be fast food or half fast food. That's it. Some of the things that was to happen right around me. Basically, it was the semblance of portals, dimensions, mind, the way the mind works and manifests things. right, to assure that an individual is correct. So what I ended up doing though, right? Um, I noticed, right, that it happens the same in a lot of different spaces. Another thing that I'm gonna go ahead and say, I talked about this a little bit. Check the house numbers. Check the house numbers. If you're an essence sensitive individual, that's gonna make a huge difference. Check the house numbers as to how strong or weak a portal would be. Portal or the essence in the space, right? That means a lot. Another one, right? To pay attention to is how quickly you digest something and whether you're actually digesting it and what's being left over as a remnant. The remnant. Remnants remembrance. But I was looking down and I saw this counter, like this person ordering at a fast food counter. So, and the fast food counter was yellow. It was some black people. It was some black people. All of these are dealing with black people. So some of this stuff I'm getting from it would be some of the root work it is that would need to be done. Pay attention to the root work it is that would need to be done, and with you or in your family or however that's supposed to go. Trying to think, is there anything else? If anything else comes to me, because I've been holding on to this for a nice little second. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. um, anything else? Anything else? Other than you don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. That's on the First Wives Club. Don't say I can't go with other boys. And don't tell me what to do. And don't tell me what to say. I'm not going out with you. So don't put me on this way. You don't know me. So there's that portion. The other part of it though, right? That I will say in regards to it, I was really hearing that song so much. I've been hearing a few love songs too, y'all. I have. If I can recall them, I'll talk about them through the readings, the upcoming readings. But yeah, just paying that some attention, y'all. What it is that you're hearing and associating it, right? What are you associating it with? That's going to be really important. When I was just sitting, right, just out of nowhere, a pot holder showed up or was on the blanket in front of me, and I was like, excuse me, this motherfucker wasn't here. This motherfucker wasn't right here. Yeah, no, these past couple days been wild, y'all. They been wild. Um, but ultimately, what it boils down to, or what it boiled down to, is when people intentionally get shit wrong, or they try to find a way around certain shit, right? Yeah, when it's in short, when you can recognize it's a setup before it sets up, is basically what that boils down to. You can recognize a setup before it's a setup. I will walk to the store, y'all, right? And within me walking to the store, per usual, a few people are out and about, and I speak to them. And I said hello, and uh, I got to this one space, right, or this one part of the street, and two guys, they come up and they ask, or they say, the one guy, he says that he asked me if he could carry me to the store, and it's one of those. I thought of it, but I didn't say it out loud at that time. I said I'm a passenger princess. That does not mean that I want to ride on somebody's back who's walking. You walking and I'm walking. No, thank you. That's all I can think is one of those. No, thank you. I'm pretty heavy, and but I was polite about it, and I just let him know. It's like, okay, no, thank you. Because if I touch you, I'll know so many different things about you that I guarantee you don't want me to know. And he thought, see, and that's the other portion. What a person thinks is what you don't want to know, versus what society proclaims that others wouldn't want you to know about them, versus what they really don't want you to know about them. That's what that was about. But yes, I was like, oh my God. And it just so happened that all of it came up from the day before with me posting and stuff. And it was like, okay, yeah, I could tell that it was something being done. It's like, y'all so stupid. Oh my God, y'all so stupid. Some of you motherfuckers is dumb as, yeah. It's like y'all motherfuckers don't pay attention to shit for real. You get caught in one paradigm. In short, don't put people in boxes. Just because you're in the process of doing your shadow work, and whether you want to address it as shadow boxing, the shadow kata, I didn't call this so many different things. Just because that's the space or place that you're in, by no means does that mean that everybody is on the same level of it as you are. Okay? So it's that. But when I was walking back, he had guarded the door basically, and I walked back, and he was like, "You should want to know." He was like, I bet you don't know what my zodiac is." And I was looking, I was like, I told him, I was like, you know what? I appreciate the chuckles you've given me today. I do, but I really don't care. And but you don't want to know what my zodiac is, and I'm like, I don't think so. And he was like, I'm a Scorpio. Okay. It was like that was information I didn't care to have, because I don't judge people based off of what their zodiac sign is. I typically try not to. So there's that. And sure, pay attention to what impending doom and karma. The impending dooms of karma. Yeah, because when shit like this start getting set up, you playing into some bullshit, and just pay attention and don't always be good. You better off just saying what you need to. And last but not least, one of the things that I saw that I kind of thought a lot of times when I see some of the things on like social media to any capacity, and they be kind of disrupting me when it pops up in my news feed, um, is okay, okay. I hear you. I hear y'all. I hear y'all. I'm gonna make sure I get to that too. Now, cause it was was really important right now. It's K Jewelers and the Open Hearts collection. That was something that I know I talked about a while ago. I talked about that quite some time ago, but for whatever reason, K Jewelers and the Open Heart collection, and what it means. And so it'll be about different gems and things of that nature that will pour out in within one having an open heart, and it being memorabilia, right? Of one having an open heart, part one. Part two, it'll be about the different gems that pour out when one's heart is open. So it's that. The other portion, that's going to have to come to me. And when one thought overrides another, it's about level of importance. Level of importance. Oh, I remember what it is. Uh, I thought we were past this as a society. Obviously, I was wrong. So it's some stuff with knowing more in the thought big. Yeah, because one of those cards just slipped. Um, but uh, I thought we were past this as a society where black men talk shit about single moms for whatever reason. You know, if you have your own personal tragedies that you're focusing with and dealing with, especially if you're in the star seed aspect, I encourage all of the star seeds. Uh, yeah, do your shadow boxing and your shadow kata privately. Do that shit privately. Don't do that shit publicly because it makes y'all look real stupid and it makes you look bad and you're influencing quite a few others and other individuals. And the reality is, I can't speak for everybody else, but I don't want to hear y'all bullshit when it comes to talking about single moms because yeah, it was talking about dating single moms, and it was one of those yeah, you motherfuckers got a stigma behind all this shit. Y'all really do. And the reality is, you'll be really irresponsible with your dick, and some of y'all don't even know if y'all got kids out there like that. So I really encourage everybody to be, kind of, yeah, get on the up and up. 22, 22, as I said that. I typically don't have to do the numbers and shit, but you got to be on the up and up when you're talking about certain things. But it was ultimately a discussion of why you don't want to date, why they wouldn't want to date a single mom, which is counterproductive to the crises that is going on in our community, and then y'all wondering why y'all don't get pussy like that, or why people don't fuck with you like that. Because if nothing else, y'all love turning women. I don't care what ethnicity you are, but a lot of y'all do love turning women into single mothers. So just being mindful of that. The other part of it, right? This is a general reading. This is a general reading, which means not everything don't apply to everybody. Everything don't apply to everybody. Everything don't go for, yeah, everything ain't always about what you think it's going to be about. You're going to, depending on how it is you view or you receive this message, will be uh, an automatic identifier of what vibration it is. You are not only watching this in, but also processing it in and grounding it in. Being high vibrational does not mean that you get high and then you vibrate. That is not what that's on. All of that inside out, that is not what that is, y'all. It's not what that is. That's not what that is. No, and I feel the need to say it in these varying aspects because uh, a lot of people feel like there's trying to find the loopholes and the easy way out. That don't be that's not smart. Like it or not, you're gonna have to do the mental work and the physical work. Ace of Swords, true. In a thought or in a knowing more. Yeah, it had flew over, and I just flipped the car over and thought it. Um, yeah, the just be mindful of all those different things, okay? Please do. Please do. Today is Saturday, right? Or Saturn. Uh, for those of us who have had, right, uh, job, so to speak, career, right? Different career fields. And I would like to also state that there's a difference between having a career field and having a job. Like it or not, most people, even if they consider themselves entrepreneurs, that's still a career field job. So, you know, just be mindful of that. Okay. A lot of picks been kind of coming up from like 2 years ago. Ultimately, what I'm getting from it is the essence of what it is that would have taken place like 2 years ago, and whether or not an individual would have been able to balance and alchemicalize what it is they were seeing with what it is they were doing, uh, and whether or not you even understand the way the mind works. If you don't understand the way the mind works, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty with alchemicalization. Fair and even exchanges, equal exchanges. Um, some of the old older lessons, older lessons would be if and when an individual would have had knowledge of what will be going on. I heard in the shadow realm. Huh. And the irony that comes into place with everything is the shadow realm in current time is 3D. Everything that happens in real life is constituted as the shadow realm now. So, yeah, because I was hearing the Yu-Gi-Oh! I was hearing that too. In short, when it's one move for another. Shadow realm and whether you honor your spirit, and within honoring your spirit, that is the integrity that comes into place is you respecting the spirit of others. Shadow games. Y'all need to be careful with playing shadow games. Shadow games don't necessarily mean just at night, as we've all seen. It's a lot of fuckery that goes on during the day. Just as much fuckery that goes on during the day goes on at night. We only emphasize it at night because it's thought to be that it's not seen as much, and that's only because it's more cultured, richer in that regard. Um, Shadow aspects of things, yeah, because some of this is gonna be about the whole maturity of a situation. In business, it'll be talking about when an investment matures or is being drawn out prematurely. Oh, excuse me. And what constitutes? What does those things constitute? And whether you have what you need. Just based off of the essence alone, without really paying attention to the cards, these came out though. It'll be about fast moving essence, fast movement, as well as, policed, what it is to be policed, and how a lot of people don't necessarily, yeah, pay this attention. But when you're policing a person, right, it's certain behaviors that go into place with that. Go look that word up. And cancer essence, right? Cancer essence. One of the things I will certainly say, right? Yeah, one of the things I will certainly say is if a lot of things that you can tell about yourself is if you pay a little bit more attention to when things are wrong than when they are right. What do you pay attention to that's wrong versus what is right? But yeah, the policing essences and all that other good stuff. So being a thief, stealing, the name Rob, Robert, all that, right? Huh. And when you politic or police or you politic, it's the politicking that'll come into place with it. That ticking, yeah, is giving the ticking time bomb aspect that'll come into place with this. So let's go ahead, kick into this reading a little bit more. I'll draw a couple cards, just a few, and then I'll do another reading real quick. Yeah, because it'll be about backlash. The backlash that comes into place with making a person a placeholder or being a placeholder, just filling a space, filling a void. Intuitives, please protect yourselves. Please, 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 please protect yourselves. And know the difference between true spirit versus, yeah, true spirit versus, receiving telepathic communication. That's the main thing that I can think of right now. Okay. Miracle. Despondence is the overall essence in the chakra card. A miracle in one's willpower. This is going to be in regards to knowing more about root work. How you can pull, and when you pull out the root of something, it's best to fill it with something else. Like, say, for instance, this is going to be in the indigenous heritage. One of the things that gets done when planting so that the soil can be fertile and it can assist with the growing process is that there is something dead put with whatever the crop was. For instance, uh, this must have something to do with why it is a lot of the shit took place over the course of the past few years, like Thanksgiving. But when you're growing food, right, it's good to check the soil content, which means you as a person, what it's grounded in. It's also good to examine the seed to see if it is a weed, not a sunflower, a weed, something that can suffocate the crop, right? Or if it's actually able to produce fruit. I know I'm saying sunflower seeds primarily because with sunflower seeds, what has a tendency to happen is if you dry it out, you can't plant it. So you gotta check the soil, or not the soil, but that's the maturity that'll come into place with seeds. Uh, but typically they will put something, they put like a dead fish or, yeah, the animal or some sort around that seed, right? So that it can grow, alright? without it having to be attended to so often. And then there's also the aeration portion where you would make sure certain holes around it so that water, when it does rain, right, water can get down to the roots and make the roots strong. Okay? So I think that's it, y'all. I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, because what I'm seeing is the whole Native American aspect of when they would be growing food and certain things that would have got lost in translation or stopped being done within growing food. And in a lot of instances, how people only grow after an ego death. So ultimately, what is given is that yeah, I got some cards out now, but I'm seeing a lot of this. So this is gonna be one. This is gonna be one part, and then I'm gonna come back and kick into the cards even more. But the other part of it is keeping the remnants of your ego. It's kind of yeah, in short, when you're sprouting up anew, yeah, because now I'm seeing it as like when a snake sheds its skin. Okay, when a snake sheds its skin, it's getting bigger, right? But it's a process that comes into place with that even. Because snakes in the wild, some snakes do different things with their skin. So that's going to be talking about Aquarius essence, Scorpio essence, uh, different things that will be going on with the skin. Uh, yeah, and in short, how shit would show up on a person's face opposed to showing up in their character. So there's that portion. Uh, but basically, when you go through like ego death and ego recognition, we've been talking a lot about ego death, but we haven't really been talking a lot about ego recognition. So I think that'll be kind of what I'll hit on in these reads and recognizing what's going on in and with the ego. Okay? So despondence, miracle, trickery, insecurity, enlightenment. Those are the chakra cards. So what I'm getting from it is one doing some essence work on themselves in regards to miracles, miracle, trickery, insecurity, and enlightenment, magic, magic, heart games, and the ambitions and fears in one protecting their heart and the ambition, the fear that comes into place with protecting their heart and within their ambitions, and the emotion. I know I'm not the only person that's ever paid this any attention. Anybody else ever recognize that whenever the devil has the pitchfork, it looks like the exact same pitchfork that Neptune and Poseidon has? I'm gonna just leave that with y'all. I'm gonna sit that there, and then there being enlightenment in regards to what it is that will be going on with looking inside one's inner self. In this enlightenment card, right? It shows an older gentleman and a little boy. One of the things that I've also paid attention to and known, right, and see going on in a continuum with each one of these plates, which each one of these cards is, there is the big person and then there's the little personal portion to it. So pay attention to what it is at the core of a situation that would have gone on, in regards to discovering. Like when the ancestors come back, when, and sure, what I'm getting from this is when you were a child and people would have told you stuff like, you know, oh, that baby been here before. And if you've been put in an environment with people who are aware of things like reincarnation, rebuilding, yeah, because all of those are just scientific terms, scientific and spiritual terms, right? With ego deaths, ego rebirths, ego recognition, id recognition, what's at the core of a situation or the seed of it, all of it. Okay, I'm hoping that helps you guys out just a little bit though. I really am. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop this right here. I hope that helps you guys out just a little bit. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you're more than welcome to do so. And like work ain't like work LLC. Um, yeah, because I'm hoping that I really do hope that helps y'all out just a little bit. All right, cause see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It is not light work. It's not light work, and that's why you have to stay light while you work.